Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another weekly market review for F45trading.com. This week, we're coming at you a little bit later than normal. I usually get these out Sunday evening before the Monday New York start to the week, and we're actually coming at you right in the heart of New York Open. Just because of my schedule on the weekend there, it didn't allow me to really get in a whole lot of time for market review, unfortunately, so we had to get her done when you can in the morning here after the start, and what a start it was. So this week we are discussing April the 19th to the 23rd, week of the 23rd. So we had, obviously, US dollar took a big rip lower out of the gate starting the week off, and we smashed down into the low that I was looking for and my members were looking for, obviously, at 9,100. Actually, the price came in at just about a pip shy of 9,100 level. I believe it was 91.01 and 6 pipettes, so pretty close to the exact low that I was looking for. Nonetheless, it was a swing below these lows. Here is where we had targeted, and we got that in stellar fashion with a little bit more than I had anticipated on a daily range, nonetheless. So where do we go from here? We're obviously, we've come off of a major high here and ran some pretty significant lows out, but we smashed back into this previous consolidation. So if you take a look at this, and you see price right in this range right there, and you look how price has really worked this really dollar range. So basically from about 9,100 to 90 even is really where price spent a lot of time in that range there. We're now coming up into that area, so we could do one of two things. Obviously, we could slam into here and bounce and possibly make another run higher, or we can continue to the downside. Nonetheless, I think what we're probably going to end up seeing is Tuesday, what I'd like to see is Tuesday bounce back up into this range, into here, the 91.45 level. Basically, the lows of the daily ranges for Wednesday and Thursday, and then see if we get any resistance there, and then have price continue another leg lower. Ultimately, I think we're probably going to continue on the bearish side of things. As long as the Feds don't raise interest rates in the U.S. anytime soon, we should continue to see a downward spiral. But you've got to keep in mind, though, we do have some major levels up here that they did not want to come up and capture. Now, if you did a fib from from high to low, we came right up to that 72 to 79% retracement level, which is a major area for reversals to happen, and that's pretty much exactly what we got here so far. But the big question is, was this just a leg up, brief retracement, second leg up, deeper retracement to a third leg higher? That's what I'm looking to see here, and we'll probably find that out here either this week or next with NFP coming down the pipeline here as well too. So what do we have on the economic calendar here for the week? Let's just pull that up real quick here so we can get an idea. Now again, we had some, I put the the low impact news events on the chart here today to look at, because Monday was completely void of any actual news, major high impact or medium impact news drivers, and you can see the markets were ripping on Monday. So I'm not really too sure what was the catalyst behind all of that. We had some European news, current accounts, and German monthly reports, and then we had some Canadian dollar housing starts, and then we've got some Canadian dollar budget release, and later in the day we've got monetary policy meetings for Aussie. But apart from that, there was really we had a very, very big range on US dollar today. You can see that, and an even larger range on euro, and an even bigger range on GbpUsd, which I'll talk about in a second. But we want to go in here and look on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Not a whole lot until you get into the Bank of Canada monetary policy statements on Wednesday. That's going to be a high impact news driver, obviously, that you got to watch out for. We've got crude oil inventories a little bit later that same day, and then again Wednesday, Bank of Canada press conferences. So now Bank of Canada, they are not planning on changing their interest rate thus far. So more than likely, they're probably going to keep that rate consistent. But just watch for that for any volatility on the Canadian dollar. And then going into Thursday, we have a monetary policy statement from the EU, and again, they're not looking. I mean, they're at zero rates as it is, so they're flat. They're not looking at changing anything for the time being. And then we've got U.S. dollar unemployment claims Thursday, and then wrapping up Friday, we have a whole bunch more euro news. So EurUsd is definitely going to be the driver this week. It's going to be moving quite a bit. So if you are trading euro, just be careful and cautious and be aware of what's in the economic calendar going forward. Now, speaking of EurUsd, so we had a target. I had a target of 1.200, which is just above these highs here, about 10 pips, and then an ultimate stretch up to 120.20, and you can see we actually got much higher than that. I was actually quite surprised at the range higher that we got on EurUsd today, and the high came in at 120.47 so far. So nonetheless, the range above these highs here was captured. That's what we were looking for. I was actually looking last week for those numbers to come in, but we got it on Monday. Nonetheless, all of our trades from last week were placed into profit, and all closed flat on the day. So we achieved our targets for last week today, which better late than never, I guess. Again, going forward, so I'm looking to see what's going to happen when price drives back down into the highs of these candles here. It may not. Now, if you look what happened on this price swing, I was always hopeful that we would have seen a nice retracement back into the consolidation areas that they left from, and you can see they left those areas open and just kept going straight forward. So what do I mean by that is, you see this leg down here, we had price expand nicely to the downside. We came back up and re-tagged back into the lows of these candles in here, and then we had another continuation to the downside. I was hoping to have the same thing, price run up here, come back down, retrace in, consolidate, expand up, come back down, retrace back to these highs, and then another expansion further. So we didn't get any of that. So EurUsd, if definitely wouldn't blame you if you had some issues trading EurUsd, especially in here and in here for a couple of days last week. Definitely wasn't the easiest pair in the world. We did get that brief retracement lower back into this candle range here, and then that expansion. So it's nice to see that euro finally came through. Now, again, looking to find out if we're going to come back in and hit these highs. So these candle highs in here and the candle highs in there, which come in again at that 120 even level, or 1.2000 level. So looking to see if we get into there, and then see in another expansion higher to possible ranges up into here. So we'll keep that narrative going for now, and we'll see where the Monday closes. As long as we stay bullish on Monday and we don't finish and close the day back down below this line here, I think we're probably going to see continuation to the upside. I'll be watching to see if they want to come down into Tuesday, retrace, and then want to punch higher. My target on the week, I'm going to just adjust this guy a little bit right there, and I'm looking at that high there on the week, so 121.10 for a potential run to the upside, and maybe even more. Might give us 121.40 to the upside, and maybe a return back to this consolidation level in there. So if we see continuation to the upside, that's where I'll be looking. And what I don't want to see is price come back down and start trading through this area in here. So we want to make sure that wherever price goes, if we do decide to trade lower and a price breaks this threshold here, so basically the 119.70 level to 119.60, if we go lower than that, then we're probably going to trade back down into this range here, and maybe we'll see a slight reversal if this was just a stop rate above these highs here. Okay, so watch for that. GbpUsd was definitely the leader to the upside. Huge range to start the week off. We are 180 pips so far on the day, and it's still climbing. I got a target up here at 1,400 even. We are about 15 pips away from that now. Basically, what I want to see is a drive above these three highs right there. So if you guys are trading GbpUsd, you can look for an expansion up into that range. Looking for that to hopefully happen before the end of the day here on Monday. And then price to continue to stay bullish going through the rest of the week. I got to go to the daily here. Target on the daily is this high up into here. I'd like to see if we can stretch up to that 4100 level on GbpUsd. So basically cleaning this entire area right up in here. I want to see them just surge price right up there. Now again, this is a very, very big up day candle here, so just be careful because they could come all the way back down to the close on Friday, right into here to rebalance, and then just keep going straight back up again. So just watch for that. There's always that concern when you have these big expansion ranges like that. Now, they don't necessarily have to close it in tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday or anything, and if you look at this range here, that's exactly what happened. We had price expand lower, we came back up just to the bottom of that candle there, and so far we haven't been back up to retrace back into the low of this candle here, so we may not get a retracement lower. That's kind of the crapshoot that you get with GBP and some of the other pairs, so just watch for that. But I am looking for price to get up into this range here, another 100 and, I don't know, 20 plus pips or so from now. We'll see what we get if it can get up into there and clear out these highs. What would be an even better ideal situation is if we just came up just to the highs of here, rejected, came back down and tagged off of the highs here, and then expanded higher. So I mean something like this. That would be a nice trade if we could get that. If we fail to take out these highs today, that would be something I'd be looking to see happen going into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So nonetheless, looking for higher prices on GB, and you can really see this thing has been failing to go lower as EurUsd and some of the other pairs were going lower, and US dollar was going higher. Cable here just did not want to go lower. We hit two equal lows here. We had this candle right here just came down a little bit lower than this one right here, and then just straight to the upside from there. So great price action on GbpUsd. Euro GBP, just have a peek at this one here. As you can see, this big sell-off down here that we're going to have. This will push GbpUsd to the upside, so watch for that. I'd be looking for them to come back down to this consolidation level down into here, maybe even lower, and possibly get under here, and then that should really surge GbpUsD to the upside. Australian dollar, we had a very, very tight range in here, and we're starting to finally get some expansion out of here, which I was hopeful for last Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday just did nothing. Really went sideways those 2 days, and then we had a bit of an expansion here on Monday so far. I had a target of 7,800 on the longer term outlook for last week. We didn't get that. We actually were quite shy of that by about 40 pips or so, 50 pips or so on last week. So I was a little bit surprised we didn't get a little bit more movement to the upside on Aussie, as Euro and Cable were moving higher. But I like what I see here so far. I like that we've powered back up into this consolidation level. I like how we're continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. And I think there's a good chance we're probably going to see price above this high here. Now, I have these two highs outlined here as the target, and this one here. This could be different on your charts. Price may not have got above this high, gone this high on that range there on, what is that, the March 18th. Some charts I've seen don't have that pop above that high there, so I've got this high drawn out on the chart, but that's going to be the target for this week here, as long as we get continuation to the upside. Again, what would change that is if we started trading back down into this consolidation range here. I don't want to see that. If we do trade lower, I'd like to see this range right here hold up. So I don't want to see price go down any lower than that line right there. So that comes in at about 76, 65, somewhere in around there. I don't want to see price go lower than that. On the daily basis, closing lower than that. So if you see that, then obviously Aussie, this was just a pop higher, and we could see a reversal lower, but I think we're probably going to remain bullish on Aussie. And UsCad, I'm going to hold off on UsCad because we have the monetary policy news coming out on UsCad on Wednesday. So next week I'll come back and I'll give you an update on what I think the targets are. It could go in either way, so I'm going to wait and see and let them do their stuff for that monetary policy report, and then we'll go from there. Now, crude oil, you can see we had a big pop-up last week, and price failed to go anywhere from there. We've been stagnant for the past 3 days, so I honestly have no idea what they're doing with crude oil. We should start to see this thing roll over. I've got the 56.95 level, basically, on my charts, where I think they're going to take price eventually here. But just watch this guy. We've had these highs up here breached, and then there's more highs above, way above here at 77. We would have to have a pretty major high impactful event for price to shoot all the way up into there. Not saying that it can't, just kind of right around this time frame, crude oil and the energy markets start to kind of cool off a little bit. They hit their peaks for the quarter, and then they start to kind of taper off a bit. So that's kind of more so what I'm expecting to happen on crude oil. I'm not super bullish. Yes, I know we've had this massive uptrend, and everyone who's watching this is probably like, Steve, what are you talking about? This thing's going to just keep going up and higher. It certainly could, but I think that I think that it's going to hold off for a little bit anyway. There's a lot of, especially North America, there's a lot of areas that are going back into lockdowns again. Restrictions are getting tighter. The global demand for oil still isn't at what it was, pre-COVID time frame, and obviously down here, obviously, and so it's a bit of a crapshoot. I think there's going to be a pretty tough case to keep this momentum higher on crude oil. I think the more likely story is that they're going to cool it off a little bit, and I'm not suggesting that they're going to come all the way down to the 40s or the 30s or anything like that, but I definitely think they're going to come and swing down below the 56, lower than 57 level into this range in here, into the mid 50s. I'd like to see that. And then there's another push in energy that comes up into the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, and we'll see if they want to get that next surge to the upside. So for now, with crude oil, I'm going to hold off, but if we start taking out this high, in here, then maybe we can start setting our sights above here. But until this 56.96 level is run, these lows under here is run out, I'm not super bullish on crude oil yet. We had a bit of a breakout to the upside as US dollar was falling on gold and silver, as you can see in here. Now we're starting to hit a little bit of stagnation, so we're just waiting for a little more information this week to see what's going to happen there. We've got several highs up into here. I love how they stacked up these levels in here, not doing any significant stop runs. I think when price does eventually return to the upside on gold and silver, we're going to see massive surges to the upside. I don't think we're quite there yet. Now we've got these lows under here on gold that I'm looking at. I've been talking about them for a while. I still think there's a possibility we're going to shoot below those before it returns to the upside. We've got the same thing on silver back over here at 23.50. So just mark that out in your charts, guys, and we'll see what we get from there. If we get any surge to the upside and continuation to the upside on US dollar, I'll be targeting those lows on the metal markets. And that completes your weekly update for this week. I hope you guys gained or took a little bit out of this, and hopefully it'll help your forecasts going forward this week as well too. If you have any questions, you guys always know how to get me. Make sure you hit the like button on this. I would really appreciate that. Share this out to your group, and if there's anything else I can help you with or answer your questions, I'm here for you guys, so just let me know what I can do. And of course, to all my members, I will see you guys in the chat room a little later today. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.